Hi guys, I'm Luisa from UOL from Brazil. I'm very excited to be here. I'd like to start by congratulating you both on the past season.
Thank you.
I'm very excited to see what's to come. I would like to start by asking you about the finale, right? That decision or accident that happened. We do know, we have an idea of what that means for the story and for history with the capital H, right? But I would like to ask you, what does that mean for his relationship with Vhagar? Because we do have these questions about how much do they control? Are the dragons weapons? Are they family, right? What does that mean for him?
I just first off want to say sorry. You know, that wasn't my fault. That was Vhagar's fault. I know a lot of people are sensitive about that final episode.
They'll get over it, mate.
Yeah, but I think definitely along the lines what you said, going into season 2, Aemond fully recognises Vhagar's power now. You know, there's a reason why she's still alive. She's the hardened survivor of over 100 battles. She's named after the old Valyrian god of war. And I think Aemond forgot that a little bit. You know, his emotion got the better of him. And season 2, I don't want to spoil anything for you, but yeah, you're going to see Vhagar in action.
I feel like he was very right this year. I kind of made a connection with him in Oppenheimer. I feel like he just went for the big weapons, right? And he didn't notice the power that he was wielding, right?
Mm-hmm. And his face says it at the end. You know,
yeah, right.
That final shot. It's like, oh wow, he didn't fully comprehend the power that he had right in his hand. But going into season 2, he's wised up to that now.
Right. And Aegon, I feel like that scene at the coronation, again, just in his face, you can see that he recognizes something that he hadn't felt before. I could just imagine in the script something along the lines of like, this is the first time that he feels loved or something close to love, right? What was it like for you to navigate that emotion for him?
Yeah, it was the first sort of glimmer of, oh, this might not be all that bad, you know, being on the Iron Throne. Hearing the small folk of Westeros and King's Landing chant his name was cool, and there was a glimmer of hope, yeah. And yeah, it's just a case of now trying to harness that power into something useful rather than something destructive, but we'll see if that works or not.
Right, and it's so quick for him, right? Like at the beginning of the episode, he has this one view of this, and then I feel like it immediately switches as soon as he gets up on that altar, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's impossible not to have the dopamine hit you at that point when you feel the crowd roaring, and you see hands flying and hats going into the air, and you know, it's a joyous occasion. Sad that Rhaenys had to come and spoil it, but yeah.
What more can you expect from that side?
A party pooper.
This season we got to see Rhaenys doing something that I feel is unheard of in this world, which is choosing not to do something that would change her legacy. Right at the coronation, she just makes that decision, and I kept wondering if it was a decision based on thinking of how this will go down in history and just a matter of legacy, or if it was just a personal decision, right? Thinking of her family.
I don't think. I think legacy is his obsession, but certainly not hers. And because legacy is to do with the future, and I think family is certainly where her focus is, and the fact that she's lost her children, and the grief of that, and the unimaginable grief of that, and the knowledge that pulling the trigger as she could have done would have wreaked the same unimaginable grief on so many thousands there. that it's just it actually would have been unthinkable to do that, to make that choice, much as it was tempting. But I think there's something even more than that. It's that it was about in the present moment, about doing the right thing, actually. So it's not just, that's her personal story, but of greater importance is the right thing for everyone, which is we have the power, we have this potential, but we are going to, let's choose not to use it. Let's choose not to destroy.
That is so, again, unheard of in Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like Corlys does have a different view on those things. I feel like in the last episode, we got to see both of them having, I don't want to say fight, because in terms of Game of Thrones and this world, couples, they have such a different relationship, right?
Yeah.
But what does that disagreement between the two of them mean for Corlys in next season?
Well, I think by the time we meet in the second season, which is roughly like 10 to 12 days after the end of season 1, the argument has been resolved, because if you remember in episode 10, he's the one saying, let's just forget this. I was wrong. For 9 episodes, I was wrong. I was pursuing this stuff and it's just cost us so much, so let's forget it. It is Rhaenys' sense of what is right, which is what she communicates to him and says, no, we have to stand by this girl because she is what's going to keep this thing together. So I think for Corlys, when we meet him in season 2, and in fact he says it in episode 10, okay, when he declares for his wife. He sort of goes, okay, I've been sort of trying to lead and this is what we're going to do. And it's led us to losing our children. And now my wife has said, this is what we should do. And I think he's sort of gone, yeah, maybe I should listen. And you're right, it is the right thing to do. So I think whatever ruptures may happen to this couple in season 2, I don't think that is one of them. They've got far more deeper things to be concerned about.
That might arise.
And I feel like I personally haven't read the book, but seeing people's reactions to it, people who have read it, I feel like the book is very much a history book in the sense of it's told by people who won, right? Either people who won or people who just witnessed it and weren't part of the action. Yeah. And then at the show, we get the chance to kind of fill in those gaps, see that history is just kind of a sequence of maybe accidents, just decisions that people make, right? What's it like for you both to navigate that, the kind of filling the gaps of a story that has been told?
I think that's the thing that we learned from history, is that history can be twisted, and our show is very much the truth of that book. Filling in those moments and filling in those little motivations or those nuances that you might not necessarily find in the book. Yeah, it's something else. You do feel like there's something powerful at work working on this show, and it's because there is.
It also doesn't really feel like our job, that area. It feels like the writer's job to fill in the blanks. We bring life to these characters in the sense that we give them physical form and give our interpretation of who these people are and why they tick and why they function the way they function and make decisions that they make, as questionable as they can be. But it's testament to our amazing writers on this show that we can fill in those blanks, and we do see a fully rounded picture of what happened, which allows the audience then to make their own decisions on who they want to follow.
Right. Yeah. And I feel like in the almost 2 years since the show premiered, both of you have managed to kind of keep some kind of privacy, right? I feel like when you were at CCXP last year, most of the comments were like, I can't believe this, he is like this, right? And all people were surprised at meeting you in person, right? Do you guys, after the episodes, do you guys check reactions or are you guys at social media seeing what people are thinking of it?
No. I don't. Do you?
No, only the reactions from my peers and the people that I work with. They're the people I do want to impress. But I do. I think mystery is, once you lose that mystery, you can't ever really get it back. And so if people get to know the real me, it detracts of what I'm trying to do as an actor. I want people to suspend disbelief when they see my characters on screen. And I think it's just about knowing when to pull the curtain back and showing the...
And I like a quiet life. I like my privacy, I like a quiet life, and acting for me is everything, but it's also a job. It's not who I am. So it's nice to keep the work and the private life separate, and yeah.
Whoa.